But yes, well, I was about to start speaking Spanish. I'm so used to. Hey, well, how's it going, guys? We're welcome to Clandestino Ruin channel. We're not expecting anyone. I should have. I need to do a little bit of a flyer or something, let you know that that's going to happen. Just I can't just be doing this just cause. But anyways, it's still going to be recorded. Will be up there so you guys can see it later. Anyways, as you guys know, this is the podcast with like Fernando Ocampo, and oh, we got one people watching, and Ian, my friend Ian, right here. The today what we're gonna do. Ian participated in. Okay, we're from Victoria here in Canada, and there's a big community of homebrewers which they decide from time to time to do a little bit of change beers kind of thing. So Ian participated that. I didn't have time to participate this time. So Ian is sharing the beers he got. So we're gonna be tasting three beers. I believe is one IPA, nail, and the other one was a
We've got an IPA, a amber ale, and a peach pale.
okay. So that's what we got. So that's what we're gonna try today. So um we're gonna be talking about what we think about it. See if there's any mistakes that we find there. We're gonna say it, not to be harmed, like not to create any harm to anyone. Just to do the comment. Maybe that comment will help them to get fix that problem and get it better or something like that. So we just do it for fun. All right. So should we take the first one? Do you have something to open those bottles?
Mm,
I think I got a coin. Which one do you want to start with? I think the peach is in it.
Sure, we could do the peach first.
Yeah, let's go the peach first because that's the flavored one. And there you go. One of the two is, or he's on the military, or he spent some time in jail. Well, we got two people watching now.
Awesome.
Leave the comments. You guys, any comments? We can talk about whatever questions you got, or I don't know, anything.
This has got like pretty nice clarity already. Oh, I just ruined it by pouring the dregs in.
It's all right.
Wait, that one's you?
Sure.
Is that?
Doesn't matter. Okay.
So it was really clear before I dumped in the yeast dregs.
This one is still pretty clear, though. It's still pretty clear. You can actually see my shirt through it.
Not this one.
It's not kind of peachy, but
yeah, it's almost got the same nose that you get from fuzzy peaches.
Mm-hmm. Like fermented peaches.
No, like you know those little candies that are.
Oh,
there's a lot of peach flavor in it.
It is.
I wonder how he did that. Do you think he put real peaches in there? Do you think he put in flavor?
I don't know. It kind of. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It tastes like real, but I have used those extracts. You know, those little bottles of extract, and they're amazing. They smell the same.
That's the problem with things like peaches, like a lot of fruits and stuff like that have so much flavor in them. Like strawberries, if you ferment strawberries, you don't taste anything anymore because they
take all the sugars out, right?
Just all turns into alcohol. So I wonder if that's something else because it's got so much.
Yeah, that's a very very
so
good
much
point,
peach
actually.
on the nose.
Unless he had the peach as a dry hop, doing a little bit of pasteurization and then add a little bit, but that will bring a lot of clarity.
Yeah, there was way too much clarity for me to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that will bring a lot of
maybe
of
he did that. Maybe
it's hard to. Well, the thing he's from town, so we can always ask.
Yeah.
Cheers, Ivan! Thank you so much for the support, buddy.
Yeah, this was brewed by Mike Edwards. It was number 6 on the Brewvik.
I'm not sure if I
calendar.
got one from him last case.
I feel like most of the people that were in this one
were in the last one or not?
Were in.
I recognize
several ones
some of the other ones there. Like I recognize some of the labels. Like
yeah. This one was weird though. Like usually when Brewvik does an exchange, like for Christmas or something, there'll be like 30 people that want to participate, and there's like, you're expecting to have like 25 people. And this time there was only 7, but 3 of the people brought more than one beer, and then they didn't tell people ahead of time. It was
okay. So it was a little bit disorganized.
It was last minute organized, but it's still. I don't want to say derogatory things. I couldn't get around to organizing it, so somebody did, and I think that's the one of the ones that we'll probably do next time.
Okay, is it the one
with the pink label there?
Lamfer, kind of like right there, like West Hills. Because
no, that was the guy that organized.
That was the last
year.
one. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It was the same. His beer was pretty good, actually. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the more I drink it,
so much peach. I'm amazed at that. And there's nice head retention. There's good lacing.
I would go with like
I'd like to know
those extracts. I think that's what it is. Because you're right, it's way too clear. Look at that. Like
it's just way too clear. And that's with I poured a little bit of the
bottom. The sediments.
I poured a little bit of that into there. It was really clear when I first started pouring it. So I don't know, like I feel it's almost got to be extracts or.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I tried the peanut butter one for the stout, the milk stout I made, and it is pretty amazing how like the flavor is. It's almost like it's really hard to guess what you use. Like if somebody use it and tell me use real fruit, like.
I've heard that those are pretty cool.
They're expensive.
It was just a dropper for that.
No, it was just a little bottle like this. I believe was like 125 milliliters bottle, and we used one bottle, and it was like enough for like 10 gallons. Like it's powered off pretty well. Oh, wow. Actually, I wish I would have put a little less because it was a little too intense for me. I mean, I think like peanut butter stouts, they're okay, but it has to be a hint of peanut butter. It can't be the main flavor because it kind of gets a little off, right? It
gets to be too much.
For the dunkel, like one of the dunkels that I think is amazing is the one from Whistler Brewery. The one that was with like an orange. It tastes just like those chocolate that you just mash it. It looks like an orange. You know, like that chocolate that looks like it has the shape of the chocolate.
I know that orange.
But it tastes just like it.
I have not had this beer.
You gotta try it, man. It tastes just like it. It's so freaking amazing.
From Whistler?
Whistler. Okay. I not really like Whistler Brewery, but that beer is freaking amazing. It's a seasonal one though. We're gonna have to wait the next year.
Oh, seasonal, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I went to
tastes just like a Terry's chocolate orange.
I went to Millstream Brewery, the new one.
Oh yeah, I just had dinner there,
and I really liked I had at the pale ale. It was pretty good.
Yeah, their West Coast pale. It's quite nice. Yeah, I'm friends with Duncan Blackman, the brewer there, one of the owners even. He used to run the Happy Homebrewer.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. So actually,
he was brewing for V2V for a while.
Yes, I heard.
And then he was brewing for Hoyne, and then they bought the place.
Because I went there and I talked to the lady that was on the counter, and I told her, "Hey, I do like what like the guys that doesn't know, like I got my channel in Spanish, and in Spanish I do tours around like beers, like the breweries in Victoria." And I went there to see what's the atmosphere, to see what's the possibility to make a video there. And I talked to her and said, "Hey, do you think it'll be possible? I'm not going to do it today, but like, do you think it's possible that I can come one day, like set it up? I don't know, like get like, I don't know, get it in there and get all the videos. I got to talk to my husband, which is the owner."
Yeah.
And she said that, but I don't think it'll be a problem. She gave me the car and it said like, and when you come to the video, I want to make sure the brewer is here so you can interview him and he can walk you through the brewery. Awesome. So that would be a really good video that I can make there because they're being very flexible and I really like it.
Yeah, they're good that way.
Yeah, they're very flexible. I like it. Just like when I did my tour in Beacon Brewing, the one in Sydney. They're like,
is that the little one that's like just in a shop like the size of this
Yep.
garage.
It's a little bigger than that. Like this, I would say the brewery area would be this size. Yes,
Mhm.
they're using the Bruja, the system they got
Yeah,
Brew Electronical. That's what they're using. That is a friend. The guy who used to work at Hamilton Hops, the dreadlock.
Oh yeah,
one.
that's him.
He's the brewer. Yeah,
Oh,
he's not the owner. He's the brewer. He got hired for a brewery there to brew there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I went there. Checks his beer. Like I tried many on his beer. Like I know it's a pretty good brewer.
Mhm.
I went there and he gave me like a fly for free and stuff like that. Just
Oh,
because I
nice,
was there.
nice.
He really appreciated that I was there as well. 'Cause we're kind of good friends. We always share beers.
I've always meant to go out there, but
Yeah, we should go in
a
there.
couple of times I went by, they were closed. So
This is the one. It's in Sydney on, believe it's on Second.
but they're on the
It's on Second on
east
Third.
side of the highway, like kind of out in the.
I think you're talking about Howell.
Oh, maybe I am. Okay.
No. This one beacon is literally like in Sydney downtown. Like
I
right
didn't
into
realize
the town
there was
in Sydney.
one in
Yeah.
there.
So it's on Second Street. Right to
Okay.
to the very end, and it's a new building, and those
Okay.
because I call it places. They got the new buildings for like departments above, but like underneath they got like commercial areas. They rent one of those. It's almost like the size of the restaurants in downtown, so it's quite big.
Oh, nice.
It's quite big.
Cool. Yeah, we
should do a tour.
Can you bring the camera out? Can we do a pub crawl with the camera?
Yes, we can. Like especially like if I got approved like to go to like the meal stream, I can go and do my Spanish one, and then I can basically go back and we film one in there in English. I was actually thinking to talk to Clay, and we can do this podcast at Moon Underwater.
Oh,
Like
very
ask him
nice.
if we can do that private room that they got for parties.
Mhm. In
I'm
the
pretty
back
sure
room.
he will allow us. We can just basically set it up like the lights and all the stuff. I bring
Mhm.
everything. We can make the podcast there.
That'd be good.
Also, if any guys from Brubeck that they bring those beers, they're gonna watch the video hopefully. And if they see it, like if you guys are interested to participate and want to come and talk here, like it's always room. That table you can move backwards more and get another person.
There's always
here.
more
There's
chairs.
always more chairs. And yeah, that would be like a good make a good show. I'm pretty sure Jason. I talked to Jason. He came and milled some grain here, and I told him about this podcast, and he
Mhm.
want to participate. He does the same thing, but on Twitch. So like,
okay.
yeah, like he does kind of the same thing, but he's a gamer as well. So,
Mhm.
so that's the
Crossover videos. That's how you get new followers, I hear.
well, exactly that's how it works. Because like the little followers that follow me, basically, for example, yesterday I had an interview from a new channel, the Star, and it's called Boy Stouts, and they're starting their YouTube channel, and then decide to invite me to be the first podcast or an interview about myself because they saw my videos in Spanish. They see me
Mhm.
and some of the groups of beer brews. My videos pops out, my content pops out, the things like that, right? So I was invited. It was a pretty cool interview, and basically that's what it is for. Like they're trying to build their channel, so they're hooking off to my followers to move into there, which is nothing wrong.
Mhm.
Then but sometimes you get the guys that, oh, I got like 3,000 followers. You would have like, you just want to get like hooked with my followers, dude.
Oh.
I got 2,000. It's not like you have tons more than me, man. Like
50%, man.
let this one,
50% more.
well, I said just leave that one. The one that has 1 million followers. Yeah, there's the one that can get cocky. In the end, it's just YouTube, man. There's so many like. This is the good thing. Like it's a channel. This is technically right now is like one of those education channels that nobody watch on
Yeah.
TV, right?
We're the PBS of YouTube.
Pretty much. Which every time we do it, remind me that's a string brew. They don't have to be in front of the camera and talking, isn't it?
Yeah, take off, eh?
They even get beer to the dog
Mhm.
and get it back. It's not a bad beer,
I like it.
but I think it would be nice in a sunny day.
Oh yeah, it would be a great summer beer.
And
I could see myself on a patio drinking that a lot.
And you know what? I think a little bit colder. Dude. Like for the style of the beer, I think to be like, I don't know, maybe 4 degrees, 5 degrees, just in the edge when you start losing all the. But you know what? With that intensity of the peach, I don't think you lose it.
No, and maybe by making it too cold, that's all you get. You start losing that malt profile. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty cold in here. Like, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this beer is colder than the room is.
You think so?
I think so. It doesn't feel warm in my hand when I touch it.
Well, it's 5 degrees here.
Okay. Well,
touch this.
They're not much different. Like, maybe this is 6 degrees.
Maybe 6.5.
Okay.
Not bad.
Oh, I gotta catch up.
Oh no. Take your time, buddy.
I love that peach flavor.
Yeah, it's really nice. And would you say like 10-10? Like it feels like the body is kind of like a medium body, you know, like
like
not too light, not too.
It tastes sweet, but I don't think there's I don't think there's unfermented sugars there.
I think that's it's just the peach. It's the peach. No, but what I see he like just for the body, I feel like that's like a 10-10 to me. Like it feels on the mouth, kind of like it doesn't get into the dry. You know what I mean? It's on the edge.
No, 10-10, 10-12.
Yeah, like Tranquility is like 10-15, 10-16 or something. That thing is super, super high.
Okay. What do we want to do next here?
Let's flip the IPA for the end. So I guess it makes more sense.
The other one here is 4. This is Joel Barrett's Amber Ale. This is me again.
Nice and clear.
This one says it's burst carb, so probably don't need to worry about dregs like I should have worried about them in the last one.
Nice brown color.
Nice red.
Even if it had a thick glass, still pretty clear.
Nice foam in it.
Yeah, it's nice and rich. Look at the bubbles; they're really nice and small.
Yeah, they're.
You think
good
it was
consistency?
Like a bottle of condition?
It said it was burst carb.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of detail on everybody's beer, but that I have on this one. I have that it's an amber ale and that it was burst carb in the keg.
Ooh, nice.
That's exactly what you want in an amber ale, right?
Yeah, it almost has a little bit like a Scotch flavor. I'm guessing.
Like you think there's like a peatiness?
Like SO4, I think it is.
Oh,
yeah. Like when they use the SO4, they got that like kind of like a cask flavor.
Sure, yeah. There's like
especially when you use dark malts,
an earthy flavor. I can't pick out what yeast that is, but yeah, it's definitely an English yeast.
Yeah, it feels like it, or like some
maybe Nottingham even.
Yeah, give me that kind of like cask flavor. That's how I call it. But someone like it, somebody
Almost
put a,
an
like
oakiness.
a little bit of whiskey in there, like a tiny bit of whiskey in there.
I'm not getting that, but I do get like an earthy flavor, like the same way that you get a lot of these. I I think their yeast choice was very good.
Yeah,
Is what I think it is is
and it's all you want, like flavors from the malt.
Mhm. There's hops there, but
But they're not supposed.
get in the way.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be in the. It's not a characteristic of this beer. It's more like tasting the malts and use the hops just to balance it a bit.
Yeah. It's well done for that. And I love that color. I don't know if you can see that really well with the camera, but it's a beautiful dark red. It's like it's not as dark as Kilkenny, but um, it's darker than a
I would
lot of ambers.
I would call it like very light dunkel color.
Sure, yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's just like a Vienna.
a little bit darker than in Vienna. Like I like to use Vienna as the base malt in my IPA these days, and I add just a little bit of chocolate. And if I accidentally add too much chocolate, it ends up this color,
This color.
right? So it's a little darker, but I mean we're talking like
You
not a
mean
whole
for your
lot.
IPA, you say?
Yeah, yeah. I came across a recipe for I think it was for a California Common, where they were saying they were doing 98% Vienna and 2% pale chocolate. And that got me thinking, and I went, you know what? I'll give it a try. And so that's what I've been doing for the IPA lately. And it gives a nice red color. It's not quite as dark as this, but like maybe 3 SRM lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've still got a little bit of that malt backbone from the chocolate, but it's subtle. So like you pick up on it, but it doesn't feel heavy.
It doesn't get to be astringency.
Yeah. It doesn't end up being very astringent, nothing like that. And the hops can shine, but it's got that beautiful red that you get from the Vienna.
But I do kind of the same thing. But what I do is like I don't do what about it is an IPA, but I do the Cascadian IPA, like the black IPA. But
Oh yeah,
what I
CDA.
do,
So when I do that one, if I do like because I'm doing a 50-liter batch, if I add 50 grams of pale chocolate to the batch, then it's slightly lighter than this. And if I add 75 grams, it's darker than this. And that's the one I call my CDA. And it changes the profile so much, or maybe it's just the way you perceive it because you look at it and you go, oh, this is dark, but you taste more roast and chocolate. Yeah.
what I do is 2 row, like the pale 2 row
Mm-hmm.
as a base, and then I use roast barley and crystal 60.
Mm.
And it gets like about this color. Yeah, I don't like it super dark. I don't really like beers dark unless they're stouts or porters. But like, I mean, one of my favorite Cascadian IPA or black IPAs I had is from Pike Brewing,
Mm-hmm.
Octopus Inc. That is black as fuck, like
Oh yeah.
super black.
Wow. That sounds all right.
Yeah, I really like it. That because when they're super dark, tends to be super stringency or like super high into the dark malt. They're way too intense.
It can be, yeah, for sure.
So I believe what they do in there, or what they do to avoid that and get it that dark, is
You can do a
cool
late
brew.
edition.
Yeah, I like the cool brew. I think that's what they do. Basically, mash those in a cool temperature, just to get. You don't looking for the sugars on
Even
anything. You just want the color,
even
right?
even if you're doing your mash and let's say you're doing a 60-minute mash, right? And or even if you're doing less and you've hit your starch conversion, right? You can then add your super dark malts and let them sit in there for 10 minutes or so, and it'll change out your color. Just like if you're mashing in with super dark malts,
Oh yeah. Immediately
within
when you put
within 2 minutes,
as soon as you put the
dark.
grain in there, you
So
can see the
same
water
thing,
change.
you can do that. You can stir those in, and then like immediately start pulling off your sweet wort, and then not have that same astringency extraction.
True. That's very true. Or balance it very well. Which it takes time. It takes time to balance dark beers. Being honest. I think like I haven't played with like smoke, but I think smoke malts is even more complicated to balance it. So I hear, do you use almost nothing? Like not even.
It doesn't take much.
I hear some recipe they call it 1%, just to get the smokiness. But I seen another one that said like 5% could be too much.
I did a smoked porter last year, and in a 12-kilo grain bill, we used 1 kilo of beech smoked malt, which gave a light smokiness, and 50 grams of peated malt. And like you sort of smelled it off the beech smoked malt, like as you poured it into the thing. But I opened the bag for the peated malt, and you were like, it like smacked you in the face with how.
I try some smoky beers, and they tends to be super smoky.
Yeah. This one that I did, luckily it turned out, and it was fairly subtle for the smoke. Like there was smoke there. You could appreciate it if you like that, but you could mostly ignore it if you aren't into smoky beer, which I think, especially as homebrewers, that's one of the things that we tend to do is we overdo everything that we
It's
throw
true.
in. So that's a thing that I try to focus on, and try to, anything that you want to put in half.
That's your rule. Ian's rule: put half, whatever you think it is.
And you're only allowed to do one weird freaking thing at a time.
Yeah, because you know which weird thing is the one you fail.
Yeah,
That's the biggest problem. Yeah, that's what I every time like tell my friends and they follow me on the Spanish channel. They're like, why would you change? Like you're using 3 hops for your beer, and you change the 3 hops for the next beer. Like, when are you gonna know what the profile of each one? Like, change only one, and you can see how the beer transform. But like,
yeah, I've been doing a pale ale series, basically the same grain bill for like 2 years now, and every time it's the same. I think I do a 40-minute and a 20-minute edition in my pale ale, and it's the same number of grams every time, regardless of what hop it is, and every time it's a different hop, right? So each time you kind of get a feel. The more hops that go through, the more you kind of go, oh yeah, well that's what this one's like. That's what this one's like. That's what this one's like.
and also you realize as well that like certain hops, you say like, oh, 35 with this hop is good, but this hop I should have used 40 because it's not as intense than the other one is. Yeah, those all those little things like things that I've been doing lately, just like boil water, add a little bit of hop, carbonate it, and drink it as a club soda. That's what I've been doing
just
lately.
as a bit of a,
yeah. So like, and I've been tasting like different hops this way, right? Like using like Galaxy, like I use Citra, use this and that. Yeah, it's a little experiments I've been doing. I hate water, but I like the bubbles.
There you go. So you've got like a soda stream that you're doing that with, or
I
what?
just put it in a corny and carbonated here.
Oh yeah,
We
okay.
got CO2 tanks. Wow, we need to freaking those the soda stream. We can do it ourselves.
Well, I mean, I thought maybe you had like a carbonation stone, or you're doing,
No, dude,
you know, like you're doing like a glass at a time.
no, I'm doing like a keg at a time.
Okay.
Like if it's not good, you just put it out. What's the point? It's just water, right?
It's just
Sounds
a bag
so
of
bad
hops.
for places that doesn't have water, and we like it's just water, right? You just dump it.
Sure, but we live in a rainforest.
So that's right. Got a lot of water. Yeah, sometimes we got lots of water.
Yeah, we live in a rainforest, and we just got some rain last month. That was so bad that it washed out all of our roads.
That's correct.
Like
this place, it was like flat completely, like about
don't
that
doubt
much
it.
water. Like you
There's still a foot and a half out from
oh no,
the
this
walls.
is for
It's
the
still
snow.
wet. Oh, okay.
This is the snow that's been melting.
I don't know if they could have seen any of that, but yeah.
No, they can't see it, but like
Oh,
this is the beauty of
conveniently
this.
aimed
It
that
looks
camera,
like,
did you?
yeah, that's the beauty of this. It looks like it's a really nice place, but it's not.
Okay.
Looks like oh man, that looked like those guys got money, man. Like no, this stupid damn garage.
Got the camera facing the only wall that's entirely not showing 2x4s.
Yeah, we try to make it fancy.
Okay.
Nah, just a stupid garage. But it works to make those podcasts and make my Spanish shit and stuff. It's always busy. It's always something recording in here. Maybe one day it's gonna be a studio for people who want to come and hey, you want a show? Come and do it here.
Mm-hmm.
We got cameras, we got lights and everything. I'm actually starting my Spanish channel of well, it's gonna be attached in the same brewing, but growing pot as well is gonna show.
Oh yeah,
in Mexico. It's legal here, so I don't know how. Apparently, it's legal in Mexico now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been approved already. Just like I think you need in Mexico, you need a permit and stuff like that.
It's legal in like half the states too. So
it's not. I don't think like this is the argument with like they said it's legal, but DAs can just shut them down anytime they want to. They want to do it.
They have weird stuff where like things that are illegal federally can be made legal like at the lower levels.
But the thing is,
I don't understand.
It's very simple. It's legalized in the municipalities or in certain states, but federally is not legalized.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like here, like the city could pass an ordinance and say a thing is legal here, and federally they would go, fuck you, you're a city. You don't get to say what's legal
exactly
that we said is illegal. But the other way works, right? Like the federally that we can say something is legal, and then the city can go, no, you're not allowed to have that here. Right? Provincially, we can say you can't have that here.
Yeah, but you go to the federal court and you always win.
No, but even then, like federal court, like if I don't know, if the city of Victoria said they're going to make 4x4s illegal for whatever freaking, because I need an example, right? Because I need an example, not because that's a thing that the city of Victoria is doing. If they said that, then even though a 4x4 federally is legal, like they could say, yeah, you're not allowed to drive your 4x4 in Victoria. You'd still be allowed to own one on your property, I'm pretty sure. Like you'd be pretty hard pressed to do that, but
well, it's like what's going to happen in 2020 when BC said like no, in 2040 the BC said like no more like gas cars, we all have to have electric car by 2040.
Oh, is that what they said?
That's
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So how are they going to do with the muscle cars? Like, do you think like they have to still like existing? All the collector guys not going to give up.
It's probably usually what that is it's new vehicles. So you can't buy any new vehicle that's
No. They say by 2040 we all should be electric now.
right, but there's going to be fine print on that. It's going to be like by 2040, new vehicles can't be sold that are gas, right?
Yeah, it could be.
We'll look it up. I'm
We're
pretty sure.
tasting beers today.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if you have classic plates on your like 1972 Mustang, like you'll still be able to have your 1972
So
Mustang.
I'm coming back a little bit into like the wheat thing just to finish it. It's like it happens in Victoria. It wasn't legal, and it was dispensaries all over the town. And the police knew those dispensaries were, and the police said nothing. I remember all Vancouver was full like that. I mean, and it was for like a couple of years. It was a couple of years of that.
They opened themselves up to a lot.
And then
all those dispensaries had to close when it became illegal.
Exactly, because when they come legal, they all have to be registered by federal government, not to the city. They were basically open here as a regular business, just like you have
they were
like a grocery store or anything. You just got your permit,
which is unfortunate because there was so much room for that to be done differently. Like they could have, if that had been managed better, it could have been set up so that those same places that had already existed had been shifted over and got grandfathered essentially, but that's not how it worked, and they all had to close because they were doing business illegally. And so
do you know why they have to close? Because like it's like every place is corrupted, that always the rich would like have to get in the business before than the other one. They'll build the whole shit. Everyone that be like the ones that build the whole crap, they shut it down, give the license to the ones that they want to invest because they got the money, and then because they got like they're corrupted. So they start their business and then slowly bring the other ones back, so that everyone is happy. But it's basically exactly what they did, so they can have the first expensive cut. Wheat was very expensive when it was legal. Now it's coming down.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just a thought, like I one of those. I remember my grandpa told me one day, like, if you look into the situation or there's something, you start thinking in the worst things, and you might be right. you start thinking into the things that like they're cheesy, and you might be right.
Look at the worst way that this thing could possibly be.
I mean, no, I mean, like looking into the corruption way, like that. This is what I'm big, but I'm from Mexico, right? So like,
I got told a thing one day at work back in the day that calmed my frustration a lot. They said, do not take for maliciousness what can easily be explained by incompetence.
Okay.
Right? So just because they did a thing that seems like the worst possible thing they could do to just fuck you over is probably because they're dumb and not because they want to fuck you.
It's a lot of time
and that took a lot of stress away from me. It made me feel a lot better and worse at the same time.
Well, I give you an example. I wake up this morning, check my YouTube Spanish channel, and I got a comment from one and say like, your video is garbage. I just waste my time. And like, I just sent them back like, I'm sorry the channel doesn't fit you, but thanks for the time you spent in my channel. That's like, why would I get mad, right?
Thanks for the views.
Yeah, like, I mean,
tell all your friends how terrible it was,
tell them,
and that they should make a point of watching it and telling you how bad it was.
Tell your friends, like, look how fucking bad he makes them. Like, yeah. You know what's the saddest part? That was probably
start a YouTube channel that picks apart your videos and shows them to people and tells them how bad it is, so that then they can watch the real one to compare.
Well, when he told me that the material I put it out is garbage, so I went to check his channel. He has no channel. He's just on YouTube. He got no channel. So like, you don't even do like material, but you're good to criticize the material. Anyway, Eh,
So what you're saying is basically suck a fart.
pretty much.
Okay.
Sack of these.
Ugh, excuse me.
I guess we're going for an IPA. We're in an
Okay.
IPA town.
Hold on.
Aren't
Let me check to see whose beer this is. I think this is the same guy that did the peaches. Yeah, this is also Mike Edwards. It's the same guy that did the peach ale.
Oh, 2 beers from the same guy.
2 beers from the same guy. Here. See if that works. Nope.
You just need to be Mexican.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I can smell it already.
That is weird. There's like a little bit of
Kind of like yeast.
yeah. Yeast or something right on the rim. Be careful while you're pouring this. I'm pretty sure it's bottle conditioned. Hold it up so we can see clarity before we get a little bit of.
Your glass is better for that.
Oh yeah.
Which I think he has the same thing in the last beer as well. Look at the cap right there. That was the last. Oh no, that's the peach one. The peach
Yeah.
one is right here.
Yeah, the peach
Which one
one
was
didn't.
clear? No.
The peach one was clear. The IPA has like a little bit of
Yeah, there's sediments on the bottom.
yeasty. Yeah, it's like a yeasty sediment, but it had it right at the. Maybe that was one of the beers that was upside down in my
be.
box.
It could be, yeah.
When I came
It
over,
kind of makes sense, yeah.
because
it's definitely yeast, like.
Because a couple of them were upside down as I transported them.
It's definitely yeast. If it's not yeast, that thing would like be like sour or would smell like infected.
Okay, so
yeah, bottle condition, we can tell.
A little bit muddy as far as the clarity is concerned.
But so we're understanding that it was bottle condition.
But it was bottle condition.
Exactly.
This
is the issue. Like bottle condition is gotta do this. So Hefeweizen is perfect to do bottle for condition.
Yeah. Or NEPA.
Yes, too. I agree.
Yeah, actually, a NEPA is good that way too because it eats up that extra oxygen. You're more likely to have less of an issue.
It's not a bad flavor, but doesn't kind of taste like an IPA.
There's less IBUs there than I would have expected.
But I detect. I don't know if he's the.
Oh, actually, there is a bunch after I swallow a couple of times, but there's a little bit of
mosaic.
Maybe some oxidation
like
with and probably in conjunction with the bottling. It's really hard to do an IPA that doesn't pick up some oxygen when you're you're siphoning out of your fermenter and into a bottling bucket, mixing in your sugar, and then transferring into the bottle. So it's really hard to get some oxygen into the whole thing at that point. And I feel like that could be some of the color as well.
Yeah.
But the malt profile,
I don't detect like oxidation flavor, like saying like is oxidized.
No,
but
like
I can see how those hop lost intensity and changed their flavor.
Right.
I believe his color's got biotransformation too.
A little bit. I mean, to me, I would describe that differently when it's biotransformation. But yeah, like that feels like there's like it doesn't have that nasty oxidation like you get with
Do
some
you
things
get?
where it's like wet cardboard or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
no, definitely doesn't have
it
that. No.
it it there's less hop intensity than I would have
Do
hoped.
you feel like almost like you have a bite of grass out of the hop? Like I feel
No,
like I'm drinking like I have like a salad, like but not a salad, just grass, and I put it in my mouth, like very green.
um, I'm not picking that up. Um, but I am feeling like the hops are a little muted. Um, could be they were old instead of that it was oxidation, I
That could
suppose.
be too.
Right? Like maybe there's some interesting things with hops, like um, if
You know, storage properly.
if you're not storing them properly, if you're not storing them cold, if you got your hops in a bucket and they're out of the light, but they're getting exposed to oxygen and they're you know 20-30 degree temperatures in the summertime,
Hmm.
it can really degrade a lot of those, especially the most volatile flavor
Hmm.
portions of it, which is maybe some of this because
It could be like an old fucking hop too,
and
like you're
and that
saying.
doesn't necessarily mean that this is the brewer that's done that, because a lot of places where you go and buy them from, uh whether they're not storing it in a fridge or whether their supplier is not storing it in a fridge or
Or
whether
there's a hop that doesn't sell that fast, and they've been on the fridge for a while too,
yeah
because they're put in those Ziploc bags, right? Like
well,
so, like oxygen gets in there even if you have it in the cold place. Um, I
and it
put
sits
mine
on it
in.
for 5 years,
Mhm. I put
and
mine
then
in the freezer.
yeah,
I keep mine in the freezer, and I try to get
they say actually
Yakima is one of my favorite ones because they almost come like it's a big ass rock.
right,
It's like super sealed, nice and
they
sealed.
vacuum all
And
the
that bag, I really like it because it's the bag for it. Like it's
Mhm.
like when you buy a hard drive, like it comes those like you kind of look through it, but it's not. You have to get really close and put a light to it. But it's a
Mhm.
special for UV rays, right? So I
Yeah,
really like them. I like
and I like that they've
Yakima
got a
Chief. I like
Ziploc
it
so that
too.
you can seal it back up
Exactly.
and
This is what I like it. This is what I don't like from Yakima Chief.
mhm.
Or just Yakima Chief call it?
Yeah, Yakima Valley has the silver bags with a Ziploc,
Mm-hmm.
and Yakima Chief,
Is the bag with the red color and the kind of like a cream
yeah,
color on top of it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a nice bag, but they don't come sealed, pressure sealed. It comes with like it's you can actually
yeah.
move it, and it doesn't quite seal. Like
Uh,
once you open
and
it,
then and then one of the guys that I've been buying from recently is I think Fraser Valley hops or something like that.
I hear them. Yeah,
They come in a green bag that's vacuum sealed. It's really good like that, but it doesn't have a Ziploc closure. So once you've cut it open, that's it, right? And you're buying a pound of hops at a
I
time.
buy pint of house at a
And
time. Yeah,
if I'm buying from a distributor like that, I'm buying by the pound, because that's why I buy from the distributor. But at that point, you've got it cut open, right? So I buy the big freezer Ziploc bags and I put it in there, and then I push all the air out and I zip it. But I don't feel like it's as effective as the Yakima Valley bag that's just
hmm.
see
Well,
push it up.
when you open those ones, you try like when it's brand new, you try to get hop. It's
Oh,
almost
and,
like a big rock. You
and
gotta fucking
I
beat the
I've
shit out
had
of it.
times where I had to hit it with a screwdriver to bust it up.
Yeah, no, that comes like completely tight. Like yeah, like I said, it's like a fucking rock. You can just throw it like to someone. It's nice. I really like that. It, it's almost give you the feelings that this like the freshest hops you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear that now they come in a can?
Really?
Yeah, the same ones they make a can. One of
Do
those
those
like
reseal the same way?
yes, you
I guess
get
they can.
they you open it like it doesn't open like a beer can. It has the other lid that you remove the whole
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
It's 4 times flush it with nitrogen. No, it's nitrogen what they use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, four times flush it with that, which is the max is only 2 times,
Yeah.
2 times, and they said it's the fresher you can get it. But also they sell a lid that is sit on top of it and you can reflush it with CO2.
Really?
Yep.
That's fucking cool. I want that.
But I tried to get it. The issue that I have with them is the shipping. It's super expensive. And I thought that like I was ordering 4 cans. So like, okay, I'm gonna order like 8 cans to see what the shipping is. The shipping was twice as much. I thought it would be the same price.
That's the problem.
And it's like I
that's
didn't like
why
that.
I love ordering from them because they do such a good job. But I hate ordering them from them because by the time I paid for shipping,
It's like 25 bucks shipping.
it's
It was
double
like
the
it was
cost.
insane. Yeah, and I say no. And yeah, they got nice Sabro, nice Citra, Centennial, and Cascade in a package of 4 fucking cans. And like, fuck, that's delicious. But do I really want to pay 25 bucks? Like, what I'm trying to do is like waiting for that thing to open and fucking
I'm buying
drive
those hops from them because I'm getting it in bulk and I'm saving money. But by the time you start adding the shipping in, how much am I saving? Right? Like I start having to do the math on. Because when I'm going, $15 for a pound of hops. Awesome, that's a sweet deal. Plus $10 shipping. Well, okay, now I'm paying $25 for a pound of hops. Okay, well, that's half as good as I thought it was. Right? Like it. Oh, actually, hold that beer up. Show these guys what that lacing looks like. Like, you guys see that? Like, how long have we been talking this beer? Like 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Like that lacing is wonderful. This guy's head retention is excellent. The other beer that he did was super good for that
too.
So whatever you're doing, keep doing it because that's awesome. This is really good.
So they come like this. They're 4 cans. You got Saka, Bariu, Cascade, Kashim for 83 bucks. It's not that bad. So it's 4 ounces. But when you ordered it, it's like 20 bucks shipping. That's it. No.
Yeah, sorry, I can't do it. It's too much. It starts adding up so fast.
Yeah, actually, it's not even. It's 8 ounce per can. So it's 2 pounds in total.
That's a half a can. Half a pound.
It's basically every 2. Yeah, every 2 cans is a pound.
Okay.
So these 2 pounds what you buying for like no, it's expensive. For 83 bucks, it's too much money.
For 83 bucks plus 20 bucks shipping.
And it's an American.
Yeah, so that's $125 by the time I'm paid for shipping. For 2 pounds of hops. Like, sure, that sounds nice, but I can't.
I can buy more.
I might as well go down to Hamilton Hops, our local brew store, homebrew store that provides all the things that you will ever need. No, really.
Burnside.
Yeah.
Give us some gist.
Right across the street from Lordco.
Sean, give us some gist.
Anyway, like I can go there and buy my hops by the ounce and still be cheaper than that.
Yeah, and that's a lot to say.
Right, and like that's not to say that you shouldn't buy hops by the ounce once in a while, but if you're brewing a lot of beer, like Fernando does, like I never brew beer at home, but Fernando does all the time, and
he does too.
Yeah. And so when I'm brewing at home, like I'm doing, I do 3, maybe 4 50-liter batches a month. Like by the time you do at least one of those as an IPA, maybe 2, and a pale ale and something else, like it starts adding up if you're paying by the ounce.
What
If
I
you've got the
recommend,
space,
for example, pick a hop that is going to be your main hop for bitterness in your IPAs and pale ales, which I pick Warrior. I really like Warrior bitterness that brings such
water.
a Warrior.
Oh, Warrior.
Yeah, the Warrior brings like such a high alpha acid. It's normally like 15-16%, which is that would make your brew cheaper. For example, you don't want to bitter your beer with Cascade. That's going to be expensive. Do it with Centennial, same profile, higher alpha acid. Like it's just like a
I mean, there are
super.
differences between them, even on the long term. Like I feel like if you are only ever using the same beer, the same hop for bitterness, you are potentially saving there, right? Because there is a lot of good things that you can save there, but even though people don't talk about it, because they talk about the aroma and they talk about the flavor profile of it, and they go, after 30 minutes everything's lost,
No,
and
really. Every
and
bitter is different.
it's just bitterness. That's
It's
an
true.
oversimplification.
But it is true, but every bitter is different. Every hop brings a different bitterness.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is, so even if you're using that as your generalization, that this is the hop that you use for bitterness in most of your beers, you probably shouldn't use it in every beer, even if that's your go-to. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I said. IPAs, pale ales, you can use that, but I'm not going to put that in my Pilsner, for example, because it's not the profile of bitterness that I'm looking. That's why you use sauce. You want to get cheap, use Perle or whatever it's called. The German one is basically the same, but higher alpha acid. I still use sauce for my Pilsner at every stage. I really like it. But
he's a snob about his Pilsners.
But again, it's like you try to keep it simple. Again, it's just what you like, right? Like in the end, is the beer you want to brew for yourself. And now, for example, I like Citra as a flavor, but I love Citra as aroma. So, for example, this is what I do my tricks. For example, I can make an IPA, put like a Saka for flavor, and finish it with Citra. That's a really nice profile. You got like a Warrior.
I know it sounds like sacrilege even, but Vic's Secret has a lot of those same profiles, and
Vic's Secret is amazing,
and it's got like 20% alpha acid.
It's true. It's super.
You can use that as your bitterness, as your 60-minute bitterness, and it really rounds out that profile really well. If you're using Azaka and Citra and Motueka and things like that at the forward end.
For example, Citra is like 13-14% alpha acid as well. But Citra is so delicious in flavor and aroma that I don't want to waste it. And also, it's expensive. It's like $35 to $40 for an ounce when like Warrior is 15. That's what I go for Warrior for my beer, because that's where the most hop is going to go, right?
So it's important to look at what you're doing and why, and not don't just do things because that is the dogma. And Fernando said, put in more.
Exactly. Like I said, this is the profile of beer that I like, and we stayed into that. But like, what I'm trying to say is like, try to simplify. Find the hop is better for you for bitterness. Obviously in certain beers. For example, you're not going to use like Warrior in a Saison. right? Like this, we're talking about.
Sometimes I do a nice coffee saison. And like I'm not gonna lie, like I've done some West Coast saisons that I probably would put Warrior in.
Well, there's nothing wrong. This is exactly how the cold IPA started, and now everybody's making IPA. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Like I think Moon Underwater is putting IPA in the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fermenting with like the lager yeast from Fermentis, and it's fermenting at 16 degrees using, I believe, is like Cascade, Centennial, and Citra. That's what they're using for their beer.
Actually, that sounds all right.
So let's see how it works.
I'll probably try it out.
When I went to Beacon Brewing, they got a cold IPA as well. Yeah, cold IPA is starting to be a beer, and you know exactly what it is.
So you were ahead of the curve this time.
No, I wasn't. I just copied the style the Oregon start. I just like to read magazines, and I saw that.
But I mean, you were ahead of town.
I'm not gonna call it this way.
Well,
but sure. The way I describe it is like, for me, it shouldn't be called cold IPA. It should be called like a West Coast Pilsner. I think it's like the perfect fucking name for it.
But that's the thing is, as far as selling beers are concerned, calling everything an IPA is what sells.
Especially here.
Especially here. And myself, like, I think that we've discussed this before, but like I feel like that's problematic because it doesn't describe the beer that I'm drinking. Just like if I
You're talking about the New England IPA?
I was about to. If I go to the store and I buy a beer that says IPA on the bottle, and then I pour it and it's a New England IPA, I mean, I'm probably gonna like that beer also because I like most beer styles. But that's not the beer I thought that I was buying, because I thought I was buying an IPA, not a NEPA.
Well, get a news for you. VACP does not allow to call it an NEPA anymore.
What are they calling it now?
But you're gonna be more disappointed with the new name.
What?
Hazy IPA. Which is not. We got hazy IPA that is super fucking bitter around here.
You do sometimes. And a NEPA should have some bitterness, but you know, most NEPAs you're looking at like 45 IBUs,
less
35 IBUs.
First of all, they don't use any hop for bitterness. They start
sometimes it depends on which ones.
Okay,
right?
But basically by the style they said you're supposed to use it for 30 minutes, so you only have half of the isomerization. Which half that isomerization, it would be probably like around like 12%.
Were they saying that?
Yeah, 12%. 12% utilization of IBUs. Of the alpha acid onto it. But is that true? Who cares? Like, who knows? Like, and right now, every magazine would tell you the fucking story, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good thing, it's not called an IPA anymore. It's just a hazy IPA. I knew you would be way more disappointed, but I wanted to get you excited at the beginning.
BJCP needs to get their heads out of their ass sometimes.
You know what? I follow BJCP just because the styles like guyness, but I know a lot of Josh in Mexico. They got no fucking clue. You know what?
Especially when they're talking about stuff that's new, they shouldn't be fucking around. Like a lot of their a lot of the things that they do as far as labeling stuff and setting style guidelines really impacts the growth of that style. And I feel like they shouldn't be putting out style guidelines on a beer that's less than a decade old.
Agreed.
Like, sure, go ahead and name a style for it, right? If they had a thing on there that was NEPA or hazy IPA, but they don't specify anything on it, and they let the judges base on their own experience on it until it's been in their guidelines for a decade. And then they can go, okay, what has this been like over this time? And maybe they go, this is still evolving. Like we can't put anything out on it yet because what we have now is not what we had 3 years ago. But when you go, oh yeah, like this has kind of been a thing. This is what it's been like for the last 8 years. Okay, well then that's probably the style.
Yeah, makes sense. It's just basically adding words into the language. It's like it just added just because they use it for a month or two. Like it's because they've been using for more than a decade, and it turns like, you know what, it's part of the vocabulary now. Right. So
right, but when you put it out a year after people have started using
it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's just a trend. So my issue with BJCP is, especially in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Are there some specific Mexican styles that it's...
No. I come across with like, turns out in Mexico, everyone is a back in VACP. Like, because you want to be a Josh? Read the fucking guy, read the guide.
Well, I mean, that's true here too.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. Go into do the test, get the test, you're done. The difference is right now, it's a trend in Mexico that everybody is doing it. Mm-hmm. Because that would be the way to say, I know about beer. You don't know about beer because I'm a judge. Right?
Sure.
Okay, whatever. Sure. They can say whatever they want. And I get it. And I give you the
respect. I remember there being a trend like that here at one point.
And I give them the...
Excuse me.
I give them the respect. And I support them in whatever they do. And they're being judged and all that kind of stuff. It's just one little thing. I would like to see a judge that tells me, there is a problem. I'm not saying about this beer. It's just a fucking example.
Yeah.
There is an oxidation here. I can taste this, and that. Can you tell me when it happened? Like, I mean, you're talking too much about it. So do you know how to make the beer? Do you know how that happened? Because, for example, as one BJCP judge that I respect a lot, he can tell you when it happened, which is Brian.
Yeah.
Right. And I see, like, why can't every fucking judge could do the same? Like, you want to be judge, prove that you know how to brew too. Like, it's not just to know about beer. But apparently, the program is start of that, being homebrewers. Mm-hmm. That's how everything started. So how come now, like, every Joe is a judge now? And you know how it works. The more events you do, the more interviews you do, the more points you get, and the higher you get. So it's not about how much you know, it's how much I'm here, you know?
Ish. I mean, there is some other feedback stuff that you have to do in order to go up the levels. I know I was kind of looking into getting BJCP certificates, especially like, you know, the first couple levels.
The first level is a BJCP judge, and then your certificate judge. And that's when basically now you can start going to contest.
I think there's like 5 levels of it.
Until you get into the master BJCP, whatever. Master judge or whatever it's called. Which I think is what Brian has.
But it sounds like, I mean, the first couple levels, like, if you know beer, you can pass pretty quickly. And then the upper levels, like, you've got to do... The problem is, like, you got to do, like, a lot of, like, tastings and stuff and blind tastings and do a lot of homework to make sure that you've got the things down.
But that's when your certificate. You guys to start going to contests and be next to a real judge and basically comparing qualified.
To do that. But as well, like, most commercial examples aren't clear-cut one or another. Like, BJCP puts out these guidelines and they say this is what it is. But beer is much more flexible than they make it sound. And that makes it really hard to go, well, this is a this and that is a that, because this is actually that and this is actually that.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example of I got a little argument with like I made a video and I call it Okrel a clone because I
Okay.
use the
Urkel.
Okrel, yeah, I use the Okrel yeast by a YGs. They put it out like once a year. They got the strain for the special. I don't know, special
Yeah.
edition kind of thing. So I bought it. I brew it. One guy in the Spanish, which is a judge to the BJCP, told me, well, that's what he said. He told me, "You're misleading people. Why would you call it Bohemian Pilsner? Because it's from the area of
But
Bohemian."
wouldn't how is an Urkel Pilsner not a Bohemian Pilsner?
Because he said,
Like, isn't that the definition of the style?
he said, is actually a Pilsner, not a Bohemian Pilsner. Like, dude, like, have you read the BGCP lines? Like, I'm a BGCP judge. Like, but shame on you. You should know this fucking shit. You know, that's the first fucking Pilsner that was created in the area of like Bohemian. And that's what is the actually original Pilsner is known as a Bohemian Pilsner. And there's another thing called German Pilsner, which is very similar, but it wasn't outside of Bohemia.
Yeah,
it just a little bit. Same hops, same techniques, and everything.
As that influence spread out, just like we were saying with Nipas,
Exactly.
right? It shifted and it changed and it met with different brewers who had different ideals and different customers who had different ideals, and it worked to adjust to those things. And this is why we have a different style based on Bohemia and based on Germany, and there's probably even more Pilsner styles than that.
You know what? Like, I almost think like everything that people
Actually,
classify as a lager, can I have a lager? They actually ordered a Pilsner like 90% of the time.
Right. And the New Zealand Pilsner actually is quite good as well.
I haven't tried it, and I really want to read about it because I might want to do a live for my channel. I want to know what's the difference between different other
basically
Pilsner.
you're using New Zealand hops.
Okay, so
right? Like,
it's just basically doing a cold IPA.
Instead of Saz, you've got Azaka.
Azaka. Oh, okay.
Like, think about that for a second, and you go, "That sounds delicious, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Okay. That's a good idea. I guess that's my next beer.
There you go. There you go. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, every time like I'm brewing something this Sunday. I don't even know what I'm gonna brew, but I'm gonna use some of that grain over there and get some hop over there, Brian. So I don't even know what I'm gonna brew. I'm thinking probably like Pilsner or something, but you're welcome. You want to come Sunday?
Sunday?
I'll be at Brian's. I start normally at 9:30, 10.
Okay.
And I'm there until like 1 o'clock or 2.
Text me the address.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I would love to be by for a brew day.
Yeah. So actually, you haven't actually been in my system yet, right?
No, I haven't. And I've just picked up some new stuff, so I'm going to be shifting my brew setup.
Okay.
Like, because previously I've been on a 2-vessel brew in a bag system with a rims tube, but now I've picked up a 3-vessel setup.
Nice.
That's
false bottom, like just loose gray now.
False bottom, Herms coil. I'm in the process of converting it all to electric.
Are you going to do like just like loose grain, no more bag?
Yeah, no more bag.
Man, you fucking love it.
But I've never
your time is gonna go down. Like your time brewing is gonna be less.
You think so?
Oh fuck yeah! Trust me.
Everything I read about sparging tells me that it takes longer.
You see with me.
Okay.
You see what I do, and you see it like it just go like. Most of my mash is like 20 to 30 minutes. That's it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure.
Like
anyway,
I used to do 60 minutes, but like after I do the extraction, like I do the test, it's like there's no more sugar to extract. Why would I keep going?
Okay.
And
well, I'm looking forward to checking it out because because that'll be exciting.
For example, I do 15 gallon, start at 10, normally finish with no decoction like a regular brew. 1:30 to 2 o'clock, I'm done, already clean, already washed everything, done completely.
Oh wow, that's cool.
But I cook with gas. I guess you get to boil faster than me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've got 11,000 watts.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, you can get to boil way faster than me. Yeah, the thing is like, you start with cold water or start with hot water?
Cold water.
I start with hot water.
I mean,
But
why would you bother with hot water?
Because my system takes time. So like when I put my grain, my water is already like 55 degrees.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
So like I just have to go over 55 to 65.
But yeah, like I pour from the garden hose and turn on the kettle, and I can't turn it on full blast because it'll be boiling instead of mash temperature.
I know.
By the time by the time
I know.
the grains are made.
Yeah, you were so fast. Like it's like, do you see the Moon and the Water just got a new hot water tank?
No.
Look into the corner, right? Like look into the bar. Like if you sit in the bar, look at right into the back, like where the chalkboard is,
Yeah.
and follow the wall, and you're gonna see a big ass tank.
Oh.
They just bought a big ass tank to fill up with water, boiling water, and basically that's the reserve of water for. They can do 4 brew with that fucking shit.
Oh wow! So they got that and the hot liquor tank, and they're recycling their water that they're using from like chilling as already hot. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, they got loads. It goes all the way to the fucking ceiling. That's how big it is.
I'll have to check it out. I'll have to look.
They still that have that fucking plastic, that around there.
Yeah.
They still have it. Yeah. It's huge. And apparently it's very thick because it gets hot water. It has to be more receptive for the vacuum thing. So it's more strong.
I mean, usually you end up putting an expansion tank up above.
Yes, but that thing has to hold hot water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like Clay was telling me about it. Like it was pretty. Like he was showing me. It's pretty cool. Obviously, the one he did it was Adam.
Mm-hmm.
I actually talked to Adam. Adam is
gonna specific there.
Yeah, it's gonna make a hole in my my fermenter, my my conical. It's gonna inch and a half creek lamp. So now if I can put a carbonation stone into it.
Yeah.
So like transfer completely carbonated beer, avoiding completely a 100% oxidation, right? Because like when it's transferred, like you create like that.
Is your lid able to handle that though?
15 size.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, and also like if I'm gonna carbonate and it's like I can carbonate, like if I can put 10 psi and leave it there, like that's enough for me to transfer it and just do the extra carbonation like this.
Yeah.
Right. Like it will be almost carbonated.
Yeah. There's also I've seen guys will set up like a recirc pump with a carbonation stone, and so you transfer off of your fermenter, past or out of your keg if you've just kegged it from a fermenter. And it goes through past the carbonation stone that you have set at whatever psi, and then it just recirculates.
Yep.
And you can do that, like they say.
It's like will be like the quick carbs kind of pump.
Yeah, one of those. I think it takes like half an hour basically, and you're fully carbonated regardless of whatever you're doing. So there is a temptation to go that route.
It's true, but I also think that another thing I want to do too is like avoiding oxidation during dry hopping. I release the whole I have to release the whole pressure so I can open the vessel to throw the hop and then seal it, pour some fucking CO2 in there, release it, so we will push my whole oxygen onto the top and release it and prevent all the fucking oxidation without buying the whole fucking thing. It's a really cool. I really want to buy it though. It's like a 1.5 like triclams that go into the top in my fermenter. You fill it up with hop, and on the top you got like a CO2 and a bleeder. So you connect CO2. You got a little valve, so you close it. You put CO2, filled up your site. It's kind of like a site kind of
Mhm.
thing. Filled it up with CO2 with your hop, and then release everything to the top, so it will push the whole oxygen out. And now you can just like open it up and bring your
Well,
hops
then
down.
even what you would do is you flush that a couple of times, and then you crack the valve, butterfly valve or something. I'm assuming is on, and hit the bleeder at the same time. And if your fermenter is still at 15 psi, right, like that's gonna blow anything out there that got left behind out.
It's true.
Which is going to be so minimal as whatever, but like you could get a pretty good practice with that to blow out that last little bit as well.
And I start to believe that he actually have that oxidization on the dry hop. Like I thought it was a myth, but the more that I think that the more that I apply things, I think if you're a home brewer with 5 gallons, you have no problem. But once you start going for 15 gallons, things like that, you start getting more risk into those kind of shit.
You do it. The smaller your batch is, the less risk you have with things like that. Like you talk to some of these guys that are doing 1 gallon batches, and they don't have any problems with anything. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's true. Like for example, like some people tell me, like, why would you put like oxygen in your wort before like your fermentation? Is like because like yeast like it. But when you're doing 5 gallons, it's enough for the splice. That's enough for the yeast. But when you're doing 15, it's kind of start getting like, I need more oxygen, man. Like I need a little bit more, man. And like it just,
especially because that headspace starts shrinking. And
exactly.
Stuff like that.
And things like that. It's just like different things. Well, we got like almost 1.5 hours. I think we should cut them. And we already tried the 3 beers. Okay. Well, guys,
we got 4 more beers next time.
Yep, that's right. Maybe in 2 weeks.
Whatever you want.
All right.
I'm off for another week, so like
we'll talk about it maybe next week. We do this the second part of the homebrewers from Victoria. Well, guys, we want to it's been 1 and 2, maximum of 3 we got today. It doesn't matter. We don't expect anyone. We appreciate it. Whoever is watching it, thank you so much, buddy. And also, I guess that's it. Thank you so much. And Ian, anything you want to say before we leave?
No. Thanks for coming out, guys.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next podcast, and hopefully we get a really good beers. Hopefully we keep going into the same track. All right. See you guys. See you later, guys. I'm drunk already.